The very phenomena of Mandela effect, doesn't matter if you believe it or not, it's happened to many people. The very, the very fact of synchronicities, little syncs that happen in your life all the time, coincidence. And I know many of you have experienced deja vu. These four phenomena are not metaphysical. These are all direct evidence that you are living in a programmed illusion, and that sometimes the simulacrum finds itself in the position of having to edit material for you to perceive. Sometimes the simulacrum gets it wrong. It assumes you didn't perceive something, and then it edited, and then it finds out, damn, he did see that, or she did see that. This is what Mandela effect, coincidence, deja vu, and synchronicity is. These are edits by the simulacrum. The simulacrum is always trying to distract you. If you're seeing the same number over and over and over again, I don't care what those other YouTube channels tell you. I don't care about, I'm telling you now, if you're seeing these little syncs, it's because you are starting to create reality tunnel for yourself that is very dangerous for the simulacrum. And when I mean dangerous, the simulacrum operates off quantum principles, but it also operates off the second law of thermodynamics and off entropy. The law of conservation of energy is absolutely critical to the simulacrum because it is not an infinite power source. There have been times in history where the power source failed in a certain area and people actually saw reality for what it was. There are places where the simulacrum's power source fades out because the holography is dimensionally overlapping something else. One of those places is off the Sea of Japan. It's called the Devil's Triangle. Another one is in the Bermuda area. It's called the Bermuda Triangle. A third one is in Mexico. I have a post about it. It's also a triangle, but it's a desert in Mexico where really odd phenomena shit happen. But this collapse of power source has been observed in modern times. Pilots have actually seen in the Bermuda Triangle just a haze appear out of a blue sky. And in that haze, all of a sudden, the sky itself looked like it's just started corkscrewing. And pilots were just like, what the hell? And they radio it in, and it's so bizarre. It's like the sky is actually a huge mechanisms of machinery with giant reservoirs and vaults that contain all kinds of things that it rains down on us from time to time. And I've done many videos about all the strange things. Rains of fish, frogs, alligator gar, rains of larvae that are frozen, whole rivers of insects that were frozen solid that fell out of a blue sky. Many things have been recorded throughout history of all the strange things that fell out the sky. 1347 AD, nothing like it. Nothing like it. The Great Black Death Plague. We are told from our historians an absolute lie, total bullshit, that rats on ships from Asia spread the bubonic plague and it killed 1/3 of the entire world's population. Absolute horseshit. Because the historians of the time have left their records, and I cite them. I cite them in my published books, I cite them in my YouTube videos. But the people at the time told us what happened. They said cigar-shaped things appeared in the sky. And just after that, dead carcasses of deer, moose, fox, squirrel, rabbit, cats, possums, with their bodies torn apart and decayed as if they were in chambers for days, just rotting and decaying. Putrid. All these pieces and body parts of forest animals fell out the sky, and the putrid smell spread the plague. And within 3 years, 1/3 of the entire world's population was dead. It wasn't rats. Some of the infected areas were so far in the country away from coasts and trade routes and all that, it's inexplicable. It had to have come from the sky. Which is why, in the medieval times, it was understood that when great sicknesses occurred and happened to a lot of people at the same time after the appearance of a comet, it was always called influenza. Influenza is Spanish for influence, and it's inferred that it means influence from the stars. So, a little anecdote there. I hope you enjoyed that. But you have to remain absolutely fearless, because being fearless knits programming for you that overrides everyone's information fields around them. Being fearless is such an absolutely powerful temporal phenomenon that it affects every aura that you come in contact with. Basically, the informed field of the individual who fears nothing is instantly perceived in the informed fields of others, and they react to it and they respond to it. You create such a powerful auric dynamic field that everyone around you either sinks, which are other fearless individuals, and they respond to you with interest, or they flip their polarity and they respond to you, even if they don't do it outwardly, they respond to you in fear. Fearlessness is understood by the simulacrum, because fearlessness creates endorphin readings, your hormonal readings spike up. The simulacrum can analyze all that and know what's going on. And then whatever you do, you walk with pride, you act with pride, you speak with confidence. Whatever it is you do is an act. Remember what Jesus said, faith without works is dead. And remember how what the simulacrum responds to, fictions become fact. You have nothing to be confident for. But the emanating of confidence creates an informed field that polarizes the entire environment around you, and everyone responds. They either sync with you or they are repelled by you, which is called fear or intimidation. The simulacrum then weaves reality tunnels right then and there that comport with what you're doing. Just like that. Being fearless is actually a type of faith. You don't have to be a big badass dude. You can be a 95-pound, 87-year-old woman, and you can be absolutely fearless, and you're going to be really surprised what the simulacrum is going to do for you. We've all seen the movies where that one little old lady walks across the street and there ain't a single car that hits her. You understand? In the personal, we can knit our own existence, but in the collective, we cannot. I get this question all the time in the comments because people are having a hard time understanding. We live in multiple different universes at the same time, and this is why in the personal, Jason Brashears is immune. There's no one going to kill me. I'm not going to get assassinated. I'm not going to die on my motorcycle, although I should many times. I said, I'm not going to have an accident in my van. I'm not going to piss off the wrong person and get knifed in the gut. I'm not doing any of those things at all. This is who I am. I am going to put out a message until I am no longer relevant. I'm going to continue to do this. It does not matter what's going on around me. It doesn't matter if the police are kicking in doors all around me. Whatever happens to me is 100% dependent on me. I don't care what the world's going through. This is why I've never really, I don't respond on Archaix Facebook group when I was on Facebook. I just didn't respond to all the fear mongering. People sending me all these posts and people making all these comments about, oh my God, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. You know, I just don't respond to it. It's not a part of my existence. What you resist persists. That is a spiritual law. It is a mechanism of the simulacrum. If you resist something, you are creating the informed field that there's a resistance, and the simulacrum is going to create that resistance for you. Same principle applies. Faith without works is dead. If I believe opposition exists, then opposition will appear. Simple as that. Because we live in a universe of negative default programming, a copy of a real universe, we have to create lies. We have to lie to reality in order for reality to return it back in quantum collapse as fact. It's that simple. We have to wrap our heads around the very fact that everything in this universe is backwards from what it should be. We are spiritually intuitive beings, and we know that this is all wrong. But in order to play the game while we're here, that's what we have to do. Will the Oversoul punish us for it? Hell no. No pun intended. But no. Because it's assumed and it's understood that in traversing through the dark, you're going to get your feet scraped. It's understood. The Oversoul has never attached all the baggage religions have. Man has attached all these ideas and concepts to God that do not exist. They are entirely man-made and created. So, back to the numbers. You've seen the same numbers everywhere you see. If you're seeing all these things, listen, this is a very common question that people ask across Facebook and YouTube. I'm glad to address it here. I don't know which comment triggered that, but listen, you're attaching way too much significance to a distraction. If you're seeing the same number over and over and over and over again, then you're the hunter who just fell for the duck decoy. And what I mean by that is that you're on the brink of something great. And the simulacrum is going to do everything it can to keep you from that. Because if it can get you fascinated with these little sinks, then you're not going to look where you're supposed to be looking. Because if you're looking for external stimuli and trying to attach significance to it, then you're never going to look within. Because that's where the true power is. The true power is knowing you have that power. Remember, act as if you are, and you will be. You will be safe. You will be healthy. You will be happy. You will be with plenty of acquaintances and friends. Will you be rich? I don't know. Do you believe you will be? And can you follow that up with physical works that will head you into that direction and fool the simulacrum into believing that you have a lot of money?